Hey, hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hi there.
Hey,
Hello.
we're live. Welcome to Create Your Future with Clarivate. I'm with the Clarivate team here. I'm Derek. I'm the founder of WOB. And we've got something really, really interesting happening here today. This is the second session we're doing with Clarivate. And our goal is to help a lot of you out there who are curious about your career and also find out what's actually happening in this really interesting company that's happening in Penang right now. They are a global business, but because right now in Malaysia, there's still lots of people who still haven't learned about Clarivate. So we think this is a great opportunity for us to sort of like share, right? So I have the team here with me today. So rather than you just listening to me talk, maybe I ask everyone to just introduce yourself quickly before we jump into what Clarivate is actually about. Maybe I can start with Wiesen. You want to go?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Wiesen. I'm 100% made in Malaysia. So in other words, I'm the most authentic nasi lemak ever in Malaysia. Okay, if you don't know what is nasi lemak, you can Google. And during my free time, I like to work out at the gym and I like to read. And I'm currently a content analyst with Clarivate, translating documents from Chinese to English. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Wiesen. Jing, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Jing. So I am a geology graduate from Imperial College of London. It has been 7 months since I joined Clarivate as content analyst as well. If you want to know more about me, you have to ask in the comments section.
Yeah, listen on. You want to hear more about Jing. Nadia?
Yeah, thanks, Derek. So, hi everyone, I'm Nadia, and I've been with Clarivate for almost 8 months now. I'm the Strategic Program Development Manager over here, working very closely with all the functions to make sure that the site gets all of the exciting engagements and also project managements across. So, yes, I'm also 100% born and bred and living in Penang. So, if, as Jing said, if you want to know more about us, drop a comment, or you can always reach out to us in Clarivate and get to know us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you, Nadia. Jay Sean, let's go.
Hi, I'm Jay Sean. So I had half of my life in the States, came back and joined Clarivate for 7 months, and I'm the product support representative. I mainly support Web of Science, and if there's any questions about our department, go ahead and fire. I'll answer anything.
Yeah, go ahead, fire, guys. You heard Jay Sean. Sue.
Thank you, Derek. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the webinar session for today. My name is Sue. I'm one of the customer service trainers for Clarivate. I've been with Clarivate for 8 months now, and it has been an eventful experience so far, I would say, which we will share with you shortly. My partner James and I, we are responsible for new hire onboarding programs, soft skills training, upskilling our colleagues, at our three global business center in Belgrade, Chandler, and Penang.
All right.
So
awesome. Thank you, Sue. So for those who are, so this actually is streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So for anyone, regardless of where you're watching this, just to sort of explain the format of this session, right? So we're going to be here about an hour, right? Roughly an hour. And at this time, I'm going to be asking questions to the Clarivate team. At the same time, if you, wherever you're watching this, if you have a question for the Clarivate team, you can actually ask them in the comments below. So whether you're commenting on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook, we can actually see it. So we'll pick up some down there, right? Ask them below. So we'll pick up your question. And Brian, who you can't see here, Brian will just pop up and just like deliver us questions from the public.
The spicy
that's
questions.
Brian. There you go. That's Mr. Question, Brian, right there. Hi, Brian. So yes, any question, just ask in the comments, and then someone in the team will just ask. So in the meantime, I can see there are already people saying hi. So hello, Amos.
Hello,
hello, Penny. Hello, Nor Fatima. Hello, Shakira. Hello, Dane. Lots of people saying hi. Awesome. Let's kind of kick this off a bit. for those of you who don't know what Clarivate actually does, so rather than me explaining it, I love for the team to explain what Clarivate does. So perhaps Sue, you could just tell us what does Clarivate actually do?
Sure, I would love to share. Clarivate is a global provider of solutions that help organizations and researchers make critical decisions in the areas of science and intellectual property. You might wonder, what does it really mean, right? So, well, if I could give you an example, let's say we are not feeling so well. Say we caught a fever, and then we go to the doctor and get treatment and probably some medicine to consume. Before all of this happen, before the medicine, the treatment, or vaccine reaches us, the end user, it goes through what we call is a cycle of innovation, which covers the discovery, protection, and commercialization of the products. So our role at Clarivate is to help our customers to accelerate the life cycle of innovation through our products, like Web of Science, which organizes the world's research information and provide researchers an ability to access millions of research paper, provide data, analytics, and insights, as well as workflow tools. And then we have Cortellis, which is a suite of life science intelligence solutions that allows our customers to make informed decisions along the entire research and development life cycle. And then we have, in the area of intellectual properties, we have products like Derwent that provides curated and enriched patent data sources. And then, we move on to CompuMark and Mark Monitor that is used to do research, a name, trademark, and domain, which turns the drugs into a name which then is marketed to an end user like you and me. So if you have like a couple of minutes to spare later on after this webinar session, I would highly recommend that if you go to YouTube and you Google, you search Clarivate Idea of Innovation, there's this really good video that sums up, how Clarivate help researchers around the globe to transform their ideas into the end products.
Right.
So
thank you, Sue, right, for your for very detailed description of what Clarivate does, right? I can see in the comments a lot of people are saying hi, by the way. There's this person called Alicia Wong who seems to be very excited to say hi to Wiesen. It's like, hi, Wiesen, with lots of exclamation marks. Hello, you have a fan. So since you're so famous, Wiesen, you have so many fans, I want to ask you the next question, right? So,
Sure.
So Sue has explained what Clarivate does as a business, but I'd love to hear, I suppose, from an employee's perspective, right? What are the values, right? The company values of Clarivate.
Yes, we have 3 amazing and very beautiful values. Okay, the first one, aim for greatness, and the second one would be own your action, and the third one, value every voice. And I like that. I know it's a bit cute. Yeah, I like the third one the most, value every voice. You know why? Because I feel that oftentimes when we are in the corporate world, you feel like you have opinions, you have a lot of things that you want to share, perhaps with the management. You have great ideas, right? All of you, do you guys agree? You might have ideas that you want to share with your boss. You want to share with anyone, right? But you feel that I'm just a little bird. I'm just someone unimportant. Who would want to listen to me? Have you guys experienced this before? Right? Sometimes. Yeah, I know Jing is very outspoken, so it's not relevant to you, Jing. Okay, so a lot of times, you feel that you have ideas to share, but you don't know how to share. But at Clarivate, to me, this is not an issue at all, because I feel that everyone is ready to listen to you. And everyone practices that. So for example, I have a very amazing manager. She's very interested to listen to our ideas. And she keeps asking for improvement, any idea of improvement. And whenever she asks us ideas, right, she'll be very enthusiastic. She'll bring her notebook and a pen. So tell me more. Can you share anything more with me? Yeah. And sorry?
Yeah, carry on, Wiesen.
Yeah, and if you value every voice, you will have more constructive feedback, because everyone dares to speak their mind, right? And also, this can encourage transparency and create a more harmonious workplace, I would say. Yep.
I love how, it's very simple. You have like three sort of company values. So it's like, it's easy to remember, also very easy to understand. It's described in a very easy way, right? Like value every voice. And I can also hear that the people actually live the values, because that's what's important, right? So a lot of companies, you have these values on the wall, but people don't necessarily live the values. But because I think the value is so unique and easy to understand, that the people in Clarivate, I suppose it's easy to live it also, right? It's easy to remember, it's easy to live it. So sounds really amazing. Lots more people saying hello. I can see hi everyone. Hi Shaznim. Shaznim says, look forward to join Clarivate Penang, right? With like an angel-ish emoji. Awesome. So, but to that comment, right, I'm quite curious, why Penang, right? So why did you all pick Penang as a location for the Global Business Center?
Yeah, so maybe I can take a go at this. So I think going back to the olden ages, right? Going back to our historical days, our sejarah days. So Penang has always been, or Malaysia has always been the center between the east and the west, and now it doesn't make any difference. And Penang being Penang, despite being the tiny island, we are actually the Silicon Valley for almost, I think, about more than 300 MNCs and over 60 global business centers down here. So it's a no-brainer why Clarivate actually chose Penang to be one of the best center to cater for our APAC market. And speaking of, and we also talk about having expertise over here. In Malaysia, Malaysia is producing thousands and thousands of local talents, right? Who are not just well versed and skilled in the global environment on what are the business needs in today's future, but they also have the kind of niche skills and language capability that Clarivate is looking for. And that is, that continues to impress the leaders out there to see that, hey, this is what Malaysia and Penang has to offer. So definitely, Penang made one of the best choice to be the global business center down here. And I think we also have like two other global business centers, one in Belgrade, Serbia for the EMEA market, and we have another one in US, Arizona. And the other one for APAC is of course in Penang.
Right. So as I understand it, that it's actually a hub also for like various languages, right? Like different languages in Asia, etc. And I think also still on the topic of Clarivate, because I think Sue sort of described a little bit about products, right? I just realized that I didn't quite ask a bit more detail about what exactly are these products. Like you have a lot of fancy names, right? Like Cortellis, Derwent, CompuMark, like. Jay Sean, do you want to sort of run through with us what these products actually are?
Yep, like I think Subaida earlier touched on Web of Science, on how we actually share this big data research and information through researchers around the world, and it's it's one of the leading platforms for Clarivate. It has been around for a long time, and it's like one of the hottest products. And also going to life sciences, as Cortel is focusing on medicine and all those biology standpoint, kind of very scientific kind of view. And then moving on to Derwent, which is covering patents and intellectual property. Then we have DRG, which is also part of that. We have Mark Monitor, which covers trademarks and names. So we tend to focus, like Sue touched on, life cycles. So we have like the starting point of all of these ideas, and it goes around all the way until we commercialize them.
I think it's more of an end-to-end service that we offer, right? Like what you said, the moment the idea sparks, so we provide the data, the insights, or the kind of information that is required by researchers or journalists out there, or even students, right? How do they use this to innovate into something new? And of course, when it comes to patent and trademarks, they want to see if this has already been patented, has something like this exist, and if it does, how do we maybe innovate something new from the existing components? And then basically they get their own product out of it, so it's tailored on customized kind of needs.
Awesome. And so I'm about to sort of jump into sort of ask more personal questions to all of you about like why you're in Clarivate, etc. But before we do that, we have Brian here. So that means that we have a question from the public. So Brian, what's the question?
Hello, yes. So the first question is from Katrina. For someone with life sciences industry experience, regulatory affairs, which role will be the best fit for me in Clarivate?
All right. Hi, Katrina. So maybe I'll pick this one up. So speaking of regulatory affairs, people with legal background and patent background. So definitely we need someone with that patent and trademark analysis knowledge. So for regulatory affairs, we do have roles that are opening up under our customer service team for our new integration that our new acquisition that we've had under CPA. So we are hiring people with legal knowledge, someone that we have paralegals in. We even had, I think, practicing lawyers who actually joined us. So that may be a suitable position, especially when you come with life sciences domain expertise. So do look out in our career website. I think you can see down there, it will be scrolling around. So you can always watch out in our career website or through Work Portal or Job Streets, right? So you can see what are the most suitable position under the customer service role, and you'll be able to apply for that.
Yeah. So Katrina, there's a link in the comment there, so you can sort of browse through the jobs that Nadia just mentioned. There it is. That's the link. Jana Nartini, I hope I pronounced the name properly, says Clarivate is the best place to work. I'm in my third week. It's been amazing. Proud to be part of this global business center. That's so awesome. Thank you for that.
Thanks,
Amazing
Jana.
comment.
She's one of our new joiners with a legal background that has joined us.
Oh, nice. It's such a good feeling to see that people are getting this experience, right? So now to all of you, right? Personally, I'm really curious about how did you end up in Clarivate? Like, why did you choose to join Clarivate? I can see your backgrounds are all pretty diverse. So who wants to offer their story to the public?
Me.
All right, Jason, let's go.
I have to start first because my story is extremely dramatic and adventurous. So what happened is that before I came to Clarivate, I got retrenched twice in 12 months' time. So,
wow.
And twice. Never in my wildest dream that I would go through this one day, getting retrenched twice. Okay. So a friend came to know about Clarivate, and he or she approached me and told me that maybe you might have their expertise because they are looking for someone who is good with languages. And I read the job description. They are looking for content analysts, and I remember they say that they need someone who is good with Chinese pinyin and good with translation and managing customer cases, which is pretty similar to my previous job because previously I was also a researcher, translating documents as well. So I decided to give it a go, and here I am at a better place. So I would say this is a blessing in disguise.
Wow, that is quite dramatic, being retrenched twice. And you did pretty well for yourself for someone that's retrenched twice. I'm happy to hear that.
Fighter spirit. I kept fighting.
Fighting, right? Awesome. Who else has a story that you might like to share about how you ended up in Clarivate?
I think I can go first.
All right, Jason.
And I'll pass to Jing because we're kind of similar on the story. Well, I consider it as a fresh graduate because I did my undergrad in the States. So I was there for 4 years. I came back for a year and I dwelt into the F&B industry for a year. And I went back for my master's in the States and then came back as a fresh grad. So leaving right after master's, and suddenly there was this pandemic going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so surprised that I landed a interview during a pandemic kind of a situation, which was came out from nowhere. Very surprised. The interview process was also really amazing. We can talk through that in a little bit. But yeah, as a fresh graduate, I feel that it's an amazing journey. 7 months, going 8 months, and it's something that you won't be expecting. The experience is we have an amazing team, especially the leadership team. It's amazing, totally different from what you usually hear from the outside world. Like, oh, you're stepping into the working world now. Be prepared. It's like, no, they welcome you. Come on in.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
So you sort of like you did not because of the pandemic is going on and stuff like that. So it's sort of a very unexpected thing, and now you're here. And Jing, Jay Sean sort of mentioned that you have somewhat similar story. Do you have a story you like to share?
I mean, well, we both find our first job during a pandemic. I think that's that's quite privileged, I would say. Basically, I took a gap year after my uni, like my undergrads, and when I come back, started looking for jobs. Like everyone who go through job application would know that it's quite draining. Like you have to repeat a lot of similar process again and again, and especially during a pandemic, that's just like lacking of human interactions in the process, because obviously we would have to keep social distancing. I feel like how I ended up in Clarivate is that after the recruiter approached me, and we obviously go through the standard, interview, assessment, all this, I'm just really impressed with the process. And I think I found a good match, that a company that matched with my values. And I think I would really enjoy my time here, and I think I can create values here. So that's how I ended up here.
Yeah, and I actually really understand what you're talking about just now, right? Because like Vincent obviously said that he's got retrenched twice. I mean, the economy is like pretty challenging right now, and for you guys that just graduated, also it's really hard to look for a job when you don't have experience. Like people with experience, they themselves are losing jobs. So when you don't have experience, right, it's so hard to get into the sort of like the job market, like if you like. And then you have this really good company that's actually actively hiring people, so which is Clarivate. So I think that's such a really good storyline to know that this is actually happening. So for people out there who are listening to this, obviously we know that the market is fairly challenging now, but there are companies right now who are still very much actively looking for talent, and regardless of whether you're a fresh graduate with no experience or even if you've been retrenched, they will just look at it based on, whether or not you're a good fit for the company, right? Rather than where you came from, right? So again, in the comments, you see links to the jobs if you're curious. Next question I want to ask is, so what are the 2 words that you would use to describe Clarivate? Just 2 words. Who wants to go first? Sue, maybe you want to go first? Is that
Sorry, I jumped
Nadia?
with you.
Yeah, okay. Best workplace. Oh, that's 2 words. Awesome.
Yep.
Best workplace. Sue, you have to. What's your 2 words?
I'll say unity and family.
Oh, nice. Unity and family. Who wants to go next? Jay Sean?
I would say more to its sense of belonging.
Sense of belonging. Jane?
We can also say, diversity and inclusion.
Ooh.
Diversity and you're greedy
sharing?
here, Nadia. That's like 4 words now. Best workplace, diversity and inclusion. Okay, accepted.
Empowering and transparent.
Empowering and transparent. Right, nice. Recent.
Warm and exciting.
Warm and exciting.
It's cold.
It's the aircon. It's not the company.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh no! So some really positive words here. I sense that based on the words used, like unity, sense of belonging, family, warm. There is like a sense of like a social connection that is created, if you like, in the company. Like opportunities for people to work well together as a team, being very united. Sounds like everyone's going in this direction. And Nadia was talking about also there's inclusion, diversity and inclusion, right? So you're very open in like bringing people on board, and people feel like family, once they are on board. Amazing. We have Brian again. Brian, we have a question from the public.
Yes, hello. So Osman has asked us, dear all amazing Clarivate employees, yeah, gotta read that out loud, right? Quick compliment. Can inquire more on the Graduate Accelerate program.
Graduate Accelerate program. Who wants to take this?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Osman. So for this question, we'll be sharing more about this, right? So to Derek's point earlier and to what Jing and Sean said, we have at least about 15 to 20% of our people who have joined us are fresh graduates from fresh graduate background. And we are also launching our graduate acceleration program known as CGAP, not to confuse with CGPA, but CGAP, Clarivate Graduate Acceleration Program, where we're targeting to get people from different expertise, fresh graduates from different expertise, from backgrounds to come and join us. It would be a 1 year program that where we will actually be providing a great platform to enter the global arena, to meet with, to build their networks, to get that knowledge, right, to work with our colleagues on hand. So they will get on-job training, and they will also be trained for different aspects, right, like agile methodology, project management, Excel courses, presentations. So we will equip them with all these necessary tools as a way of, promoting the young talents and building our pipeline. And we will be, we will see that moving forward, if there are what is the best fit of a role for them, and they'll be absorbed into the organization. So right now we are recruiting for the graduate programs. So as Derek mentioned, look up for the links it's either running down there in warpjobs.com like Clarivate, or our career websites to learn more and to start applying today.
Great. Thank you for that question, Osman. So my next question, because I can see a lot of people are interested to apply to Clarivate, and this would be a very useful question to them. When you started this whole interview process, so before you joined Clarivate, right? So what did you expect versus what was actually reality? So I'm referring to both the interview process and also like the day you turn up for work, right? So what did you expect, at the beginning, before you interview, before you started work, and what actually I didn't realize it's going to be like this, right? What are some interesting or stark differences or interesting differences there? Who wants to take this question?
Well, I think I can go first. The first part of the interview is that the recruiter will call you up, talk to you, get to know you, have some small talk, and once you say that you're interested, and if they actually filter you, you send on all your documents in, and they filter you, and you're accepted for the interview process. So the first interview process we had during the pandemic was take a video of yourself, introduce yourself in the video. And I don't know, it was kind of like awkward to me because you have to actually record yourself and replay back it a few times to make sure that you're hitting the lines right, you're answering the right questions. And it's not something that we are usually used to. It's not the usual process where you just go in for an interview and then you step out and then they call you back in a few days. But this one's more like it's taking from a different angle, trying to promote yourself in a different way. And once you finish up the first interview, when you sit in for the live interview, that was a totally different experience too. Usually when you sit in a live interview, when you sit one-on-one, they try to question you, they try to squeeze everything out from you to get to know you. However, with the Clarivate team, it was so different. So whatever you introduce yourself in the first interview, they actually took the time to really understand what you've mentioned and go through all your CVs. So there's no questions about that anymore. They would rather get to know you as a person and try to determine your skills, your talent, and what role fits you if you were to join part of the team. So I felt that was such an amazing experience for me. It was a good journey.
Right. And so in the beginning, you had to sort of like submit a short video to introduce yourself, and it took a while to get used to that. Right?
Yeah.
Did you get a lot of practice from like Instagram stories or like Snapchat or something?
I just know
thought
there was
like-
a lot of recording videos.
Who else want to share some stories
Yeah.
about like expectation versus reality?
I can go next. I totally agree with Sean, and the interview process was amazing. So I went through the first assessment. Oh my god, that assessment is really exciting and challenging. We had to do translation from Chinese to English, and with a lot of weird words that we rarely use. And after that, I had an interview with my hiring manager in Beijing. And that was the first time I had an interview in Mandarin, and I was quite nervous because usually we attended those interviews are carried out in English, right? So I had to practice many days before I really attended the interview. And after that, we had the last interview with the Penang GBC management with Shankar and the sales director Valerie. And I feel that it is very different from the interviews that I have attended, because there is a very personal touch to it. Like what Sean has just said, they are more interested to know you. And honestly, I didn't feel like being interrogated at all, because when I attended most of the interviews, I feel that I have to bring all my skills and throw out all my skills, and to impress them. But at Clarivate, it's different. They are genuinely interested to know who they are hiring. They will ask you questions like, what do you do during your free time? And for example, okay, guys, I've already given you tips, okay? So those who are going to apply to Clarivate, they ask those very personal questions. And I feel that I'm not just any candidate, from the streets. I feel they make me feel nice,
Special.
important, and just like what the value says, right? Listen to every voice. So yeah,
nice.
it's a breathtaking process, I would say. And
So-
okay, in terms of
Yeah.
expectation, I had good expectation, definitely, right? After all this very positive experience, when I came to Clarivate, yeah, I would say it exceeded my expectation. I'm very happy here currently.
It's good. So it sounds like the interview process is pretty warm, and they
Yep.
do take the time to really try to get to know you as a person, right? Not like a piece of paper, right? So that's awesome. So we're at roughly at the 30-minute mark right now. So wherever you're watching this from, whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, you can actually ask a question in the comments. We'll see it, and we'll pick it up, and and the team from Clarivate will answer them live for you right now. And we have Brian again. That means we have another question from the public.
Yes, taking a question from the comments. So again, if any of you have any questions like what they said, drop it down from wherever you're watching, okay? So what Nur Sarah Balkis has asked us is, what are the skills and experience you're looking for in fresh graduates, especially those in IT/computer science?
Who wants to take this question?
I guess
Go ahead, Sue.
yeah, sure. So I can add just what are the skills that we're looking for from the customer service perspective, and then maybe Nadia can take over from the other positions, right? So for customer service, most of the time, what we want is someone that's very passionate about helping other people, about communicating with customers, and we want people who really enjoy, helping people, guiding people, and you would need to do a lot of troubleshooting and helping our customers. And so I guess in terms of if you are from IT and computer science background, I am from IT and computer science background back in the days when I was studying, and then I start off as a technical support. And I can say for sure when we are in the area of customer service, most importantly is we need to be passionate about the job, and you have to have like a really good behavior, and you need to be a curious learner. In Clarivate, a lot of things is something that you need to initiate by yourself and learn a lot of things because of our nature of product is like that.
Yeah,
So
thank you, Sue.
thank you, Sue.
And if I can just add on, right, Derek, not just for anyone in IT or computer science, but as the basic skills or what are the things that we're looking for, may it be experienced person or even fresh graduates, right? Number one, you should have, because stepping into the global environment, it's going to be a different, a game plan altogether. You will be meeting a lot of colleagues from different parts of the world. No, that is one of the biggest opportunity that you can actually have to network. You'll meet people from the US, from the UK, from different parts of APAC, right? And how do you actually manage all those customers? So it's about how you actually, it's one of, number one is the communication skills. Number two is of course your flexibility, right? To adapt to the different shifts. And we actually, our global business center, we run 24/5, and eventually we'll even go into 24/7 mode. So you must have that ability to maybe, be open to choices, be open to chances of working EMEA shift. We have Sue and Sean who are actually on EMEA shift. We have teams who are working in APAC shift like Jing and also Vincent. And we also have teams working in America's shift. So they actually support, we support people 24/5. So you'll support different parts of the world. So number one, the thing is to have is that you must have this flexibility, because a lot of people, I think when they leave school or when they leave universities, right, everybody comes out with the mindset of 8 to 5. I was one of them, to be honest. When I finished school, I was like, oh, okay, I should go for an 8 to 5 kind of job. But after I stepped into this global platform and working more of a global hours, I've worked all kind of different hours. And to me, it's like that is not something that I'll ever give up, because I enjoy it way too much because of the different opportunities of meeting people, the different culture that you get to learn, the different knowledge that you get to pick up from different parts of the world, from the different people. It's too enriching to give up. So definitely, prep yourself to make sure that you are flexible, and most importantly, be agile, because environment keeps changing. 1 year ago, nobody would have thought that you can actually work from home. And then last year, because of the new norm, because of the pandemic, things just changed. The world just went into a 180, and everybody was literally remote. Everybody was in their homes, in their, I don't know, home clothes, with their home environment, with their pets running around, their children being there. And we actually adapted to that. And now coming back to the new world, how do we actually support it? So flexibility, agility is very, very important. And that's what we actually look for when we are sourcing for our candidates. It's not just about domain expertise, but this kind of soft skills.
All right. Thank you very much. I have two more questions on expectation and reality that I want to ask. So I'll try to combine them, right? So in terms of what you expected versus what really happened when you were onboarded, that means you turned up in the office. Because I think earlier you all shared about the interview process, right? Being very warm, etc. But when you were onboarded, when you turned up the office, what was that difference between what you expected and what's reality? And the second was with your leadership, right? With the management team, right? What was the difference between what you expected and what was reality when you first met the management team in the office? Yeah, who wants to go?
Let me do this. I would say that, well, I think for my case is quite I in general have quite high expectations on everything. So
That's good.
I'd say like my expectation actually meets reality. That's why I'm here. It's a good thing. Is that, well, the first question is that the day one, so like day-to-day work, what's my expectation versus the reality? I'd say that the team dynamic is really good, because our values are all aligned, so we work harmoniously, and everyone's really open and transparent. You can like talk to people about things, get inspired of different ideas. In terms of management, well, my second interviews, I'm like privilegedly interviewed by Mr. Shankar, which is our VP. So I already kind of know them to start with. They know me, so we have spoken. We have they interviewed me. I get to know them. So it's not, we don't really have this barrier, we don't have this mental barrier, nor the physical barrier, because it's an open office. You could just say hi to everyone, talk to everyone. If you have some feedback or ideas, you can just have a coffee and have a chat. It's pretty easygoing, I'd say.
Nice. Thank you, Jing. Who else would like to offer the answer to this question?
Well, maybe I can share my experience as well. Coming from someone who has worked for so long, I obviously had some expectations before I joined Clarivate, right? The thing is, once I'm done with the interview process and I have been offered with the offer letter and everything, so of course you would know where's the office at and all that. And then I was wondering where is this office at, and I went to check out the place, but there's no signage that's saying Clarivate, and it's at Spaces, which is like a place where they rent out rooms for companies to rent. Usually, it's like for a small organization, right? So I was like really confused because based on what I've read, Clarivate is such a big company, so I was kind of had my a little bit of concern, you would say. I'm like, is this for real? Like, am I gonna get con or something? And then finally on the first day when I walked in, when I walked in, I was the first 6 people that was hired for customer service. So me and my partner James and the other 4 managers, right? So I was like, interesting. But I would say the expectation that I had, really, the reality actually exceeded the expectations, because the very first week as well, itself, not the very first week, the very first day, we got our laptop, our ID, everything was ready. Like we're ready to go. Like our CEO always say, go, go, go. And then for the very first week, we had this culture week. They call it culture week. And then we get to know all of our executive leadership team. They couldn't be here personally, so we had all of our meetings on Teams. And they were all so welcoming, and they were expressing how happy they are that we are here, with the team. So I got really excited. And then we, the 6 of us, we were the one who planned out all the onboarding programs from then onwards. So it was a really exciting journey. And I am so happy to be here and looking forward to what's else there.
Awesome.
I'm actually kind of curious about Sean's experience on first day, because I was the one who welcomed him in. There were red carpet
Yeah,
ready for
it
him,
was.
and
So
I
what's
was
the
just
story,
there.
Sean?
Imagine your first day. Yeah, everyone's pretty nervous going to the office for the first day. You don't know anyone yet. So the only other person that I know was my younger brother. We got to the same kind of position together. And imagine you walking into the office and there was a red carpet laid down. And when you open the door, everyone starts clapping their hands. Wait, is this a company or is this some kind of event that I stepped into, someone's birthday? Or
Oh wow, it's a red carpet.
yeah, there was a red carpet, and everyone was standing around clapping their hands, like, okay, what's going on? I thought I'm supposed to come in. Maybe I was the first one, or is it? But they make you feel very welcome. So I think like maybe like Sue said, for the leadership team, they've already welcomed them in a way that they instill the values that this is how Clarivate should be. And when we are welcome, they continue to put those values onto us and tell them that they are open to all of this. They are here to help. They're here for anything that you need to make yourself feel more comfortable and better. Don't be afraid to voice out. So when someone else new comes in, we tend to put those values out again. So it's like an ongoing cycle.
I can hear sort of like bits and pieces about Clarivate's culture, as you all described, and Sue also mentioned that you have like a culture week, etc. So I'm really curious, right? Like, how would you describe the culture and environment in the office? And I sort of want to combine it with like another question, like, what does fun mean in the workplace for all of you? When you think about fun at Clarivate, like, who wants to take this question?
In terms of culture, I would say that it's a very open culture and people are just very welcoming. So, okay, for example, before I came, because I'm now with Chinese content team. So imagine content analyst, what we do, we translate stuff, right? So I expected that everyone would be so quiet, sitting at a desktop, typing and looking sad and miserable, right? But the first day when I came here, all my colleagues who have been hired before me, they came and they welcomed us. You know, they were so chatty. It's like a market. So this is not something that I have expected, because I expected everyone to be very quiet, right? And so we interacted very well, and we went to lunch. We go to lunch together often, and we have a lot of activities together, like playing games. Okay, my manager is listening. Playing games sometimes. Yeah, it's a very, very fun culture, I would say.
It's called team building, Vincent. It's team
Yes.
building.
Yeah, and to answer the
Team
next
building, right? Not playing games.
exactly. And to answer your next question about what does fun mean, to me, fun, when we mention fun, some people will think that, ooh, woo, let's have a lot of fun, go clubbing and so on, right? For me, I define fun as very simple. I just need a very harmonious, a very constructive working relationship with my colleagues. No conflicts, and to me that is fun, which is what we are having now. Yeah.
So it's like I can really feel like that's this really warm kind of vibe, and like there's this really strong connection. So throughout the entire conversation today, I think this has come out several times, whether it's an interview process or when you're onboarded, right? The culture in Clarivate is such that there's a lot of focus on connection and people and unity, right, and warmth, right? So that's good. I want to sort of try to, and also like it's very open. People listen to each other, etc. So that's amazing. I want to shift slightly to maybe something to do like the work part, like the work aspect, because as you know, Clarivate, you work in shifts, right? So some of the people thinking, looking at this saying, oh, that all sounds very good, but how about the shift working experience? So who would like to describe what that's like working in shifts in Clarivate?
Maybe I can start with that, because like right now I'm actually working in my EMEA shift, and I know that my next quarter is going to be APAC, so I like kind of figure out like where my shifts are going to be. And I wouldn't say that it's a sacrifice of your lifestyle, but more of picking up a new skill with lifestyle management. The things that you want to do, you got to manage your time differently then. But at the same time, you get to explore and build your network globally around the world. Like I've got great mentors from UK, I got great mentors from the India team. And so there's everyone there for you to actually learn and build those relationships. And there may be a lot of different opportunities ahead, which you might not have seen if you're not too open for this kind of a shifts.
And Sean, you also mentioned a little bit about opportunities for growth, etc. Right? So in Clarivate itself, what are some of these growth opportunities and like professional development opportunities you actually have?
Okay, like from what I know as a fresh graduate coming to the company, and from what I've seen, there's a lot of opportunity for growth, especially in GBC Penang, because it's also a new startup, and there are so many positions available they're filling up in, and you can see that the leadership is focused on you in a way whereby when you're showing they discover your talents and skills and see what best fits you, and they actually you can see that they've put an interest in you and they want you to do better. And there's always talks of or motivations given by the leadership team telling you do better. They may be jobs opening, and they may be there's always growth vertically, horizontally, depending what you want to do. And I know that this one I cannot confirm, but from what I've heard, that maybe opportunities for you to be working in different places around the world. And why not? Clarivate is such a big company. We have GBCs in US, in UK, everywhere, and opportunities might just pop up. And if you're there, if you're open to it, you can grab it.
Thank you, Sean. We have Brian here. That means we have a question from the public.
Oh, not so much of a question, Derek, but more of a statement that Clarivate wants to highlight, right? So there are quite a number of non-Malaysian talent watching this live session here. So Clarivate would like to answer this, right? Is there any opportunity for foreigner fresh graduates? Yes, the answer is Clarivate is MSc status, so they will be able to hire foreign talent. So don't worry about it. Go ahead and apply, right?
That's great news. Great news for a lot of foreign talent here in Malaysia.
Thanks, Brian.
Yes, thank you, Brian. How would you define the experience you had with your leadership team? I think we touched upon it a little bit just now, but does anyone have a story of their own about their interaction with your bosses, if you like, when you first joined Clarivate?
Yeah, maybe I can go for this, right? I think we get all different things. So for me, it's more of not seeing them. There's no hierarchical, I would say. In certain places, when you go, there's always a hierarchy. It's your boss, and then there's a senior manager, and then he has another manager, and then if you need anything, you always go to your own direct line managers. That's how I've seen in some of my past organizations, or even observations, right, through family or friends and all that. But coming here, there's no such thing as, oh, if you're my line manager, I can only go to you. You can always deviate, you can always branch out, you can get mentors from other leadership. They're always willing to help out. And the one thing that I really love about them is how open and how humble they are. May it be our leaders here in Penang or even leaders in other part of the world, right? US or even in Belgrade and all that. So they always come down, they are down to earth with you. They are willing to communicate with you as a friend. You don't have to hesitate to go and ping them, or just stand there, regroup with them and just have a good talk or a good laugh. And and another thing that I like about the leaders is that they will prioritize you, right? They value exactly where you are. So sometimes when you are in the US and we are here in Malaysia, there's always a 15, sometimes 15 hours, sometimes 13 hours time gap. But they will always see, okay, what is the best suitable time for you? So even if I have to wake up early as 6 a.m., I think our CEO wakes up at 3 or 4 a.m. to attend calls so that it's not too late for us in the hour. So that is something that I truly value, how much they actually prioritize your health, your well-being as part of the organization, and that equal opportunity that is given. So it doesn't matter, we don't go by rank and file. There's no such thing as, hey, you're just this position. We don't talk about that. It's more of everyone has a voice, everyone has the platform. Feel free to just voice it out, and there's no silly questions. We will just take it as it goes. So that is one value that I've really experienced and something that I've really enjoyed over here in Clarivate.
For me, sorry.
Yes, Sue, go ahead.
So if I may add, for me, it's my manager is very supportive and empowering. So working with leaders in Clarivate is like, for example, when I'm working with my manager, I've been here for 8 months, and then we have a lot of ideas and things that we'd like to implement, right? So everything goes very smooth and very quickly. Like you could come up with an idea, you present the idea, and then you get it approved, and then you get it implemented. And that's what drives me, because I like to see things that I say can be, implemented, can be worked on. So I feel that all of our leadership team, they give us so much trust. So they allow us the freedom to execute whatever ideas that we have, instead of directing us. So they give us that freedom to do what we like to implement. And then in Clarivate, just to give you an example, just a couple of months back, along with Nadia, we worked in designing our innovation room. So Shankar provided us that opportunity, so it was really fun to go and research on what innovation room should look like and how we want it to look like, and then to finally get it implemented and to see it every day. We walk by and we see that that room was something that was from our ideas. So it makes us feel really proud and appreciated.
You innovated the innovation room.
You can say that.
Yeah,
It's about right.
yeah. And Sorry, I like what Nadia mentioned just now about Clarivate. There's no hierarchy at all at Clarivate. And I remember one important thing, one important point that Shankar has said that really moved me during the interview. He told me that I see you guys as my internal customers. So which is why I feel that at Clarivate, I'm being treated as a customer. You know, you feel respected, and whenever you have anything, you will not hesitate to share with them. And so I also have very good working experience with my manager in Beijing. So like I mentioned at the very beginning, she always try her best to listen to us attentively. And like just now you mentioned, so you can take up any projects and you can propose anything to your manager, right? And if it makes sense, she'll support you, right? Yeah, it's the same with our team. Yeah, it's the 100% the same as our team. And she always asks, for example, once she asked me, what idea do you have? Then I said, perhaps we can have one monthly meeting or weekly meeting to discuss the issues that we face at work and regarding our what is that, our work policy and so on, small little things. And then immediately she scheduled a meeting. Yeah, immediately I was like, wow, I just proposed to her and she scheduled that meeting almost immediately. Yeah, that
So
shows how much they value our opinions and how much they listen to us.
Yeah, so it's not just lip service, like people genuinely listen and they respond, right? You know that there's
Exactly.
something, right? There's an action that happens. Yeah, sounds really good. So we're probably going to go on a bit longer than an hour. So I'm kind of imagining maybe like 10, 15 minutes each, right? We keep going on. Of course, there's still lots of things I want to ask you. But at the same time, if you're in the public watching this, by the way, you can still ask a question below. We can still pick it up, answer it live, or even if we don't manage to answer it live, someone from the Clarivate team actually answer it directly in the comments, right? So just feel free to in the comments wherever you're watching this from. So I want to ask about the pandemic and how that's sort of sort of changed the culture, right, in Clarivate. So this whole work from home thing. So what's your opinion? Is it good, bad, neutral, don't care?
Well, I suppose that for me, because I work in content analyst team and we're working with Beijing team, so my manager is already remote prior to pandemic. Or no, actually no, because I found my job during pandemic. Sorry. Yes. So before we started work from home, we're already like doing all the work online. Our communications and work distributions, everything's up there in the cloud. So I suppose like it's just changing in environment. I would say the biggest changes for us is not being able to see our colleagues. You have to go to Teams or like an apps to contact your colleagues to talk to them. At first, it's a little bit strange. Not gonna lie, it's like, oh, I have to take the initiative to go and ping someone. Whereas before that, you would just walk into the office, you say hi to everyone, you see someone, and then the conversation just start organically. Whereas now you kind of have to be intentional. And and then you realize you actually get a lot of values out of those human interactions, which you can't really replicate like 100% when you work from home and through online virtual conversations. So I think that's like the things that I missed the most when I was working from home. Other
This
than
whole
that, it's been great.
conversation just turns like a bit more emotional. I miss my colleagues. No, I do. No, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, Jing. Like it's you still have to adapt in the beginning, right? Does anyone else have like a sort of a different experience with this work from home situation?
Yeah. I think for my case, I think I would resonate with Jing. Because we were previously from my previous role, I was working more of remotely for almost 2 years. So you hardly see people, you hardly, all your interactions are through Teams or virtual platforms. So coming back to the office was a good start for me to see, to mingle again, right? To break that barrier, to break that ice. And then as we were shifting office and due to the MCO, we went back into a remote situation where you hardly get to meet the team And you hardly get that kind of interaction unless you say, it's intentionally you need something, then you would be reaching out. But now that we are, back in the office, it makes you feel like, okay, the moment okay, sometimes when you have it in front of you, you don't really appreciate it until it goes missing or it's no longer there. Only then you start feeling it, right? So that was the same case or same scenario. Because when we were remote, you hardly get that interaction. You will have to, I don't know, call people or go through teams, or you're trying to find the time where everybody can meet together. But now when people are in office, irrespective of their shift, irrespective of what function they're in, everybody flocks together. I would use the term flock because if you see the whole group will just get together, or you can just walk around, right? Walk around and then you meet up the teams. Hey, what are y'all doing? Can we go for lunch? Or the moment you go to pantry, you'll see different people sitting there, sharing food, sharing that exciting moments. And those are the kind of things that liven us. Otherwise, you will go more into that silo approach when you're too much into work. So these things actually makes us more excited. And I think that it creates a more of a home kind of feel, I would say. So, yep, this workplace is our new second home.
Well,
Yes, Sue.
to add a little bit more, for me, it was entirely different because I am in learning and development. So we run training, right? So most of our trainings, we do it face to face. And when suddenly we have to go on, okay, we're going to go on lockdown now because are going to go home and work from home. I think we had to be a little bit more creative and think out of the box because, we still need to run the programs. We still need to run the training. But now, how am I going to do the group activities? How am I going to get people to interact? How am I going to create the fun that we create in the training room? We don't have snacks to give. Like, we want to ask questions because in training room, you're like, hey, you get snack if you answer the question. But in Teams, what are you going to do? So, it allows us to be a little bit more creative and we research a little bit more. So what are different ways for us to run the training? How can we make it more interactive? So I think, yeah, in a way, of course, you want to be in the office, you want to meet people. But in some ways, or rather, like Jing said and Nadia said, it makes us be a bit more out of our comfort zone and make that initiative to make things different and kind of, make it still exciting.
Thank you, Sue. Brian, we have a question from the public.
Yes, one last one, right, that we still can take up. Any tips on the video interview records? Any tips can you give to Katrina and everybody watching here on what should you do to prepare well for the video interview recording?
Who wants to go?
Yeah.
Guys,
All right.
it has to be you guys because I didn't go through that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It was a little awkward because I think, as Sean said, right, I also went through the video recording. So, as any other person does, we did our own research to understand about the company, and then we made sure that we understood the question, what exactly is needed. But we tried to write that down from my own personal experience, and then I tried practicing, and then the video kind of allowed you to do multiple recordings. But I think where the part that you panic the most is that when you replay the recording and you say, "Hey, I made an error over here." And the worst part for my personal case, I think it gave you twice or thrice to actually review it before it did a final submission. So I kind of like the second one, but it didn't save anything. It was like the moment you click next, it kind of disappears. So I told myself, it's okay. The third one, we will do better. I will review the recording before submitting. But it just went through. I didn't have a chance to see what exactly I did.
So you
So
have
as
three
Jing,
chances, is it?
yeah. So I think, as Jing said, right, I think most important thing, just be yourself. Don't be too conscious or too awkward looking into the camera, because at the end of the day, it's about your own flexibility, being true to yourself, I would say. Because there's no point trying to read something out or memorizing things because it doesn't work out well. So just keep with the flow, keep within the time frame, hit on the key pointers, and yeah, and most importantly, groom yourself well, because when you dress well, you would actually gives you that own confidence and that self boost, and
You
you would
feel
perform
better.
better. Correct.
I have one suggestions or like ideas, like what Derek said before. Like he asked Sean if he actually used Instagram. You can start doing Instagram stories for like a week to be comfortable with camera and seeing yourself on camera. I think that can be quite creative and fun to do.
Yeah. So start getting active on social media. Your friends will be wondering what's going on. They won't know you're preparing for the interview, but there you go. That's one way to do it. So a lot of people that are interested sort of to apply to in Clarivate, right? So there is a link. You can see warpjobs.com/Clarivate. It's also in the comments, and the full list of jobs is actually there, right? So the full list of jobs is there, but sort of, related to what Katrina just asked, right? So would you all like to share in general what are the roles you're looking for, and how can someone prepare, right, for this interview process?
So for our role, it's actually quite diverse because we are broken down into, we have a lot of different functions established down here in our GPC. So we have the customer service team where we're looking for people with domain expertise, right? And to be product support representatives like what Sean is doing right now. We are looking for people with technical background or IT background to do software supports, because we do have our own platforms for our EndNote and different kind of product services. So we need somebody who's very eloquent or very techy, right, when it comes to this. But they also have to have the customer fronting skills, because they will be assisting our customers from different parts of the world on how to troubleshoot or how do they utilize these platforms to get the end products. So that is one. We also look for people those who have sales flair, right? Because our sales team is expanding, and all company, the heart of the company is the revenue makers who are the sales teams. So if you have interest for sales and you have great language eloquency, especially in Japanese, Korean, or Mandarin, and of course English, do feel free to apply, because the sales team will actually bring you beyond. And of course, we are looking for people with legal backgrounds, as we mentioned earlier. Anyone with legal, with law, and have interest in patents or trademarks, if they have experience in it, would be good. If not, even fresh graduates, right, who have a flair to study patent documents, to do customer support in this particular field, they can feel free to apply. And we also have roles opened up under finance and IT. And as Derek, as you mentioned, all of this is listed in the WARP platform. They can actually review it to get an idea, and to read more in detail on the requirement of the respective JDs, and and they can assess for themselves to see whether are they cut out for this kind of roles. Because at the end of the day, it's about your own passion. Do what you love and what you're excited about. And last but not least, we are also, as we mentioned earlier, and I think Osman, he asked a question about the graduate program. So that is our hot cake right now. We are actually launching our graduate acceleration program. We are having interviews this week, and also I think following week. We are looking for people who have domain expertise in engineering, in life sciences, and also people in the bio world, right? Biotech or applied chemistry, and also people with IT background to support all these kind of roles. So number one, they have to have the shift agility to work on different parts of the time zones, and they will be supported by our senior team members, as you see here. They will be here to guide you through all the way. Necessary trainings, required trainings will be provided, so you don't have to worry about being a freshie joining the corporate world. If you need any advice, you can always hit up, Jing and Sean. They can let you know what is required from a fresh graduate's perspective. And just feel free to apply. We are always sourcing, we're always looking out. And if you need further questions, you can always reach out to any one of us through, I don't know, LinkedIn, through the social medias, and we'll be able to connect you to our HR team.
Awesome. And it sounds like, you've started interviewing for the graduate program already. So students listening here, if you are a fresh graduate, it means you should apply now. Like, right? If they started interviewing,
don't miss the opportunity.
Don't wait.
Yeah. So check out the link if you're a fresh graduate. So apply soon so that you don't miss out on this interview process. I want to sort of start wrapping things up through a quick fire round. Right, so we've got like a list of 8 or 9 questions here, and we'll see if we can go, if everyone can answer it. So we'll try to see if your answer can be like, I don't know, 10-20 seconds ish. Right, let's try. Let's see how this goes. All right.
Okay.
First question: how does the company celebrate your success?
With cakes and candles.
Candles.
For birthdays, yeah, cake and candles. Every
Cakes and
single
candles.
birthday.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like when we I was the first batch on my team. So like when we completed our trainings, Valerie, the sales director, actually bought a cake for us, and we just celebrate. Yeah,
So you get cake for finishing training, for birthdays. There's a lot of
and
cake, sounds like.
A lot
Yeah.
of
Pizza.
food.
There's always
A
a
lot
lot of
of
food.
food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. There's a lot of food.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Yeah, and
celebrate
to
success with food.
Yeah, and we always do recognitions. And just a cool hint, right? We actually have a wall of fame set up here in our site. So every time when there's a high performing employee from a different, we have different criterias, their photos would actually be up on the wall. And anytime everyone passes by, they know that, these are the champions of our GPC.
Awesome. Next question. What are some of the key criteria required in candidates for success? What are some key criteria required in candidates for success?
I mean,
Communication.
I won't be interviewing, but can I add? I would
Sure.
say,
Go ahead, Jim.
I would say like you really have to know your priorities and know your values. If your values align with our values, I think that's important, right? If values align, you have a high chance that you're gonna be happy here.
Yep.
And be
And be
curious,
passionate.
I would
Yep.
say. Curiosity.
Yes. And passionate.
Yep. And love what
Curiosity.
you do.
And
Show
know
a
what
lot
you're
of
applying for.
energy. A lot of positive energy.
Awesome. Next question. Share your most exciting moment with the company.
Right now,
Yep, right now.
This
Okay,
is
I
the highlight.
graduated. I graduated from the military training.
We're plastering your face all over social media. What makes you a proud Clarivate citizen?
so
I
many
would always
things.
still go back to the values of inclusion and really sense of belonging, no matter where we go or however remotely we are. Like even during the pandemic, everyone still tries to get in touch with each other and check up on each other. How are you doing? Is your work going okay? Do you need anything to be to make yourself more comfortable at home, working at home? So
Yeah. I
there's
would
always
say, yeah,
this strong bond between us. So
Yep.
that's what makes
Yeah.
us really
I would say
proud.
like the integrity, the work ethic, like our bonds, of course. All these makes me really proud.
And not to mention that we are new in Malaysia. We are pretty new and we are the pioneers and doing something very, very professional like science, right? It sounds very smart.
Yeah, the industry
absolutely.
itself is about making a difference. So
That's correct. And the value that you add through the services, so it makes us really
Yeah.
proud to be associated with Clarivate.
yes.
Right. Pioneer team for a science-based company where you can innovate the innovation room, eat a lot of cake. Right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And if you want to take a look at our innovation room, we were recently featured in the Star. So
Oh
look up
yes.
the article and you can actually see how our room looks like.
Oh yes, that's right.
That's
Check it
me
out.
and Nadia.
Cool. Next question. What's the work-life balance? What's work-life balance like in Clarivate?
Good question, Jing.
Mm. Well, my answer would be that work-life balance obviously look different for everyone, depending on your priorities, depending on what phase in life you're at. And for example, I'm young, I'm comfortable working more. I enjoyed maybe like progressing my careers, getting to know more, learn more about the company. So naturally, I'll spend more time in work. That's just my work-life balance, and I enjoyed it. Whereas like for other individuals, maybe they have different priorities. Their work-life balance is going to look different, but that doesn't mean that you sacrifice your work ethics for it. No, it's just different, and you really have to know yourself, know what's right for you, and have integrity
Right. So
when it
so
comes to work.
Jing has work balance basically. Sounds
Work,
like.
I see what you're doing there.
Anyone else have any thoughts on work-life balance?
Yeah, for me, I'm going to speak in terms of my work. So we have due date that we need to submit our translation. So you can plan your time. Like for me, sometimes I'm a bit slow during the day. I'm more of a nocturnal creature. I'm more active at night. So I work a bit slower during daytime. And after that, I go to the gym after work, right? And I come back, I finish up my work. And you can finish your work at any time. You can plan your work. This is the part that I really love about my position as a content analyst. But I think it is different for all positions because I know that, for example, it might be different for Sue and for Sean, right? You're doing customer support and trainer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think at the end,
So-
it's all about deliverables. So there's always
Yeah.
flexibility as long as we meet the deliverables and our goals. All good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
and we also have socials. More
Yep.
socials in the future, hopefully. But we also have socials.
Right. Once like things go back to normal,
Yep.
right? What's your favorite thing in the entire office?
Ooh, the
Oh.
innovation room.
Innovation room. What else?
The garden.
The
The
garden.
plants.
You have a garden in the office.
Yeah,
Is that the
I
same? The plants in the garden?
Yeah,
no,
in our
like
overall building. Yep.
it's
Oh, okay.
actually like a sitting place with bench, like gardens.
Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, it's a garden.
yeah,
Oh,
I have coffee there in the sun.
I want my team to hear this. There's no garden in my office. Who's next? What's your favorite thing in your office, Sue?
I love my table because
Your
my
table?
table is a motorized table and I can adjust the height. So, I can sit down if I want to, I can stand up if I want to, and work.
Oh
Choose the way I
wow,
want to work. Yeah.
wow.
You're
Okay.
gonna have that too, right,
Yeah,
Derek?
yeah. I don't have this in my office either. So like next, Sean,
Such
what's your
flex.
favorite thing in the office?
I think I would say how the office is planned out because there's literally no physical barriers in the office unless let's put aside the meeting rooms because that's for private discussions. But other than that, the layout of the office is all open up. So you can reach literally to anyone at any time for a discussion, a talk, or help, or just for a 5 minutes break. Yep.
Awesome. Next question. When you hear the word Clarivate, just the word Clarivate, what does this mean to you? When you hear the word Clarivate, what does this mean to you? Who wants to go first?
Wait, should we approach it as in like knowing Clarivate, or if I don't know Clarivate?
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
both.
Hmm.
Up to you how you want to answer this question.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I think for me, yeah. Go ahead, Jing.
I was gonna like recap my experience of like when I first learned about Clarivate. I was like, it was called Clarivate Analytics, so I suppose that kind of like give a bit of hint as to like what this company actually do. I think that's a cool name, but like I need to know more. But there's also these ongoing inside jokes which about this name. I'm not gonna tell you guys.
Right.
You have to join. Yes, you have to be one of us in order to
The
know.
only way you're gonna find out what the inside joke is if you apply and you join them. All right.
Yes.
Yes.
And then you look for Jing, and then she's gonna tell you what she needs.
Yep.
Who else wants to share what the word Clarivate means to them?
Yeah, the first time I hear this word, the two words that came to my mind, clarity and innovation. Yeah, clarity and innovation. So
Clarity
it is
and
in line,
innovation, like that.
with our business. We provide data to our customer to help them to make decisions, and we keep innovating, right? So yeah, the name tell it. If you read the name properly, you know what it's trying to say, the story. Or maybe I don't know. I'm too smart. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe explain the
Just
name
kidding.
better than everyone else.
Just kidding.
I'm going to move on to the next question. What's a skill? I'm going to make sure that no one skips this question. So, what's a skill you have that's not on your CV?
Whoa.
What's a skill that you have that's not on your CV? So, you personally.
I
That's a
don't know
tough
if
question.
yeah, and also
Is that a
since
tough
I'm
question?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yeah.
I mean, for the one that I'm gonna say, I'm not even sure if it's actually a skill, but I play games, video games.
Okay, we'll accept that for now.
Yeah, you will also need to join in order to find out, and also
Right,
to
right.
play with me if you want.
Okay, awesome. Who else wants to share the skill that's not on your CV?
I baked once.
Once.
Yeah.
Oh,
So it's new skill.
yeah, that's very, very loose, like the word skill, if you bake once. That might let you pass.
It turned out really good. So
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's not a skill, it's a talent then, if it turns out really well. Natural
because
talent.
it's a burnt cheesecake. You can't go wrong
Oh.
with it.
I see. Makes a lot of sense now. Who else? What's a skill that's not on your CV that you have that's not on your CV?
For me, yeah, I can play the piano and I play classical music.
Ooh, talented. Nice.
Yep.
Nadia?
Yeah, I'm a fast reader, if that helps. So I can go through books which are like 500-600 pages in a few hours.
Wow.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I love
We
to
need
read,
to talk.
so
Yeah, we need to talk after this, Nadia.
Let's see.
Please teach me how to do that, okay, Nadia?
yeah, we'll
I
go through
think-
scanning, eye scanning.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, Sean, go ahead.
No worries. Well, I started streaming recently, so I don't know if that is a skill or not. But yeah, I stream games online.
There you go, Jing.
There you go.
So yeah.
You're both gamers. That is a skill. I'm going to ask one last question, and then we'll wrap up. So for those of you, like if you ask a question and we didn't pick it up, like I mentioned, the team from Clarivate will answer them in the comments, right, where you asked them, so you can look out for the answer there. And yeah, for everyone else, if you're interested in a role in Clarivate, the link is also there, right, with all the jobs you can apply to them. So here's my last question, because Clarivate is based in Penang. What's your favorite thing about Penang?
The food and
Food?
desserts.
Food
Yes.
and dessert. All right, we have food and dessert.
I love the view, the ocean view, because everywhere you go, you can have a sea view. Just like 5 to 10 minutes away from my house, when I jog along the road, it's all sea and blue and beautiful.
Wow, no, that sounds quite beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of
like-
very wonderful cafes which are very hidden.
Yes.
Right, Jing, you're going to say that, is it?
Yeah. Because I like to go to cafe. Yeah, and also the landscape. I think the buildings, the landscape, it has its own charms and vibe, and I like that kind of relaxing, kind of on vacation feeling. Well, you're just casually on the street, but you feel like you're on vacation.
Right. So you sort of live and work there, but it sort of feels like you're on vacation because Penang's an island, right? Nice
Yeah.
cafes,
Fine.
good food. The sea, the beach.
Yeah.
Amazing.
A resort island.
A resort island.
Yes.
Wow. So you're confused. Am I on holiday? Am I working? Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Good. Sean, what's your favorite thing about Penang?
I would say definitely the food and the ease of travel, moving around, because it's not too big of a state. You can get one place to another place with pretty easily moving around.
Nice. Nadia, do the honors.
Yeah.
Last answer.
Definitely the food and the dessert. And one thing I love, it's a combination of what everyone said, right? How you have the balance between the hills and the sea. So if you go a little bit in between, you get the hills, you go for your exercises. You go a little bit further, you can go for your sea, you can go for your exercise or even for your vacations. And of course, the mixture of the urbanization and also the heritage feel that Penang still retains until today. So Penang is my home. I will never give it up for anyone. So I
Same.
can have battles about this for hours.
High five.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. It was a really, really lovely conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You guys seem like such a vibrant bunch of people. We've not met in person. I'd love to meet you in person. So one day, as I sort of mentioned the last time, like I hope to sort of visit Penang. I wanted to visit Penang last year, it didn't happen. I will visit Penang one day, and hopefully the time the office is open, I can drop by Clarivate I can have a look at this garden that you're talking about in the office, and sort of meet all of you, see the innovation room a little bit, meet some of your bosses. I really look forward to it, right? And also enjoy the whole sea view thing. And for everyone who is watching, if you are interested to apply to Clarivate and you do get in, if you are hired, well, I hope to see you too when I'm there in Penang. So here's the link to apply to the jobs in Clarivate. So warpjobs.com/Clarivate. There you go. Just go there. Everything is there. And we have a video that will play immediately after this to sort of bookend this conversation, right? But so thank you again, everyone. Appreciate your time, and I'll catch all of you in person soon. Okay, thank you.
Looking forward
Bye.
to it.
Thank you for having us.
Bye. See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And my experience throughout Clarivate, it was an amazing journey where I met a lot of good people, amazing leadership, and definitely the values that Clarivate given to me. Alright, and as you know, the first one will be value every voice. The second one will be aim for greatness. The third one, own your action. So, what we are waiting for? Go, go, go!
My experience with Clarivate can be summed up with this quote. If you're working on something that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision will pull you. And that's exactly what I'm experiencing with Clarivate. The vision in Clarivate has indeed pulled me by giving me this amazing journey, which I'm looking forward to.
Penang GBC is the best workplace. My colleagues are so supportive and I do not feel left out. We make a great teamwork.
Hello there. I would like to share with you my experience about an amazing workplace, which is the Clarivate Penang GBC. I would say it is definitely an amazing place, and I must share with you all that the experience, the great people, culture, and also most of all, a great team to work with. Welcome to the best workplace ever.
Working in Clarivate is an amazing journey for me. So, guess what I get? I will get my passport. I'm on boarding now. Yay!
Because the management team is very supportive and all the colleagues are very helpful and friendly. So to me, here is the best workplace ever.
My experience with Clarivate has been amazing. I am happy to go to work every day. It starts with the interview process, which is interesting and fun and different, which is really kind of my thing. So I'm glad to be here and I'm looking forward for more.
So Clarivate Penang is the place where I fell in love with the culture, with the people and the vibes which I always wanted to be a part of it. So the people over here are being so amazing and they are so encouraging. This is where you are reassuring yourself to be in a company where they value you the most.
My experience in Clarivate has been fun, exciting, and adventurous.
I am sharing my story, working in Clarivate. Clarivate is a Penang GBC. Tell me, where do I find such a good workplace? Take me to your heart, take me to your soul. We will always value your voice. Having friendly colleagues, positive workplace, finally make my wish came true. This is the company for everyone. Personal growth enhancement. We matter to each other. The best workplace ever.
My experience with Clarivate is like how one holds the steering wheel. You are the driver of your own journey. I'm glad to find mine with Clarivate. So let's buckle up for exciting times ahead.
The best workplace ever.